Another game, another rough third quarter for the Brooklyn Nets, as this time they fall at home. Their third straight defeat in a row at the Barclays Center, 98-90 to the Dallas Mavericks. I'm Dexter Henry, joined as usual in the post-game report with Tom Lorenzo, the great writer for NetsDaily.com. And Tom, as I said, another game, another struggle. Fans are starting to get concerned. You're seeing the Nets, this has become a trend throughout the season. They don't get off to good starts in the third quarter, and it happened once again tonight.
Yeah, it was just a poor third quarter performance. Offensively, defensively, they shot 29% in the quarter. Really couldn't get into a rhythm. Darren Williams struggled getting that offense going. There just really wasn't much of anything to point to in terms of offensively. And as much as they tried to work it inside, outside, it was still the third quarter, getting that offensive rhythm and just finding nothing, coming up empty. And really, a lot of it was in the turnovers.
A lot of it was in the turnovers, and turnovers lead to empty possessions. 20 of them in this game for the Brooklyn Nets, so it wasn't a good. And then you have to look at Darren Williams. He had 7 turnovers by himself. Joe Johnson also had 4, even though they only played 29 minutes tonight. Is it something that we should be concerned about with Darren? We've seen the high number of turnovers again and again, and his team seems to rack them up.
Yeah, Darren did say after the game that a lot of it was mental. It got in his head, and he kept thinking after he had the first 5 turnovers in the first half, he kept thinking to himself in the second half, make good passes, make good passes. And every time he kind of thought it through, he took that extra second and it turned into bad passes. And it wasn't necessarily even for Darren about the turnovers in the second half. It's just that he wasn't hitting guys where he needed to. He wasn't leading them to the basket. Wasn't finding the open man. So he was overthinking it a little too much, and that's what led to a bit of their collapse there in that third quarter.
You heard from Tom a little about what Darren said after the game regarding turnovers. Let's take a look at what he and Joe Johnson both had to say about the Nets' turnover woes.
But for the most part, man, we were just making passes that, just throwing it straight to the defense. Between me and Darren, last time I looked, I think we had 11 turnovers combined. So it may have been more, I'm not sure, but it's unacceptable from both of us. Considering the fact that we're the primary ball handlers, we got to do a better job than that.
You see a guy making some bad passes and you start thinking about it. I know I was thinking about it. But, a lot of it was their defense as well. They have a long athletic team, and they were just getting a lot of deflections out there. We were trying to make good things happen, but they were just deflecting the passes and making us pay.
So coming off a home loss, next up for the Nets is a road trip to Chicago tomorrow night. They'll have to bounce right back. Tom, what do they have to do to get right back on the right track? It's a big game. It's an Eastern Conference opponent. The Bulls, they've been slipping a little bit themselves, but they're still tough. Tom Thibodeau always has them playing great defense. Yeah. What do they have to do to get back on the right track?
Really the key is to forget about what happened here tonight. Like you said, Tom Thibodeau, the Chicago Bulls, great defensive team. They're going to force turnovers. They're going to get in the passing lanes. They're going to play tough down low. So what they really need to do is forget about tonight and just kind of restart. Restart fresh. Make sure they limit the turnovers. Get that spacing going. They need to see more spacing. And I think another thing that will be helpful is another night's rest for Joe Johnson. Just came back from that heel injury after missing 3 games. So having him rested in Chicago, I think, would help him, especially in expanding his minutes and offensively. So, my advice is just to kind of forget about what happened here tonight and start fresh. Don't let that mental lapse happen again. And it's going to be a tough battle, though, nonetheless.
I think that's going to be the message from PJ to the guys heading into tomorrow night's game in Chicago. It's going to be a tough one, but the Nets will have to battle as they only have a couple games left, only 8 more left here at the Barclays Center. We'll try to be here for as many of them as they can. Once again, the Nets fall to the Dallas Mavericks, 98-90 here at the Barclays Center, but they'll look to bounce back tomorrow in Chicago. For NetsDaily.com, I'm Dexter Henry with Tom Lorenzo, signing off.